welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my Nora Corbett / Mirabilia finish parade, because most of these are not beaded yet, but they are stitched. I'm going to show you some of my smaller ones now, and then I'm going to cut to a different viewing angle to show you some of my larger ones so you can get a little better idea of them laid out flat, because some of them are larger and my shoulder just doesn't want to hold them up today. So I'm going to show you some smaller ones, and I'll give you the names and as much information as I can at the time. And I'm going to go ahead and start right now. So this is Nora Corbett's Sweet Pea, and this is done on a silk weaver solo. I bought most of my cross stitch fabric when I was working. This is about 12 years ago, back when Tracy was still doing the hand dyeing, and they were so beautiful, and she offered the silk weaver solos every week, and you had to jump in there and grab them and buy them all in a hurry because first come first serve. And I loved so many of them. I literally spent most of my paychecks on the silk weaver solos. So she is really, really beautiful. I altered her slightly. I finished her legs a little bit smoother. If you can see, I kind of made her legs a little bit prettier, and I did her skin 1/1. I altered her ever so slightly, gave her a profile. The only thing I have not done on her is I forgot to put the scroll work that is done with the Karen water lilies. I forgot to put the scroll work in on her, but she is super cute. Still one of my favorite in the Pixie collections. I have several Pixies I still want to stitch. Of the ones I finished, she is probably top 2. Really, really love her. This is, let me get her name right. What is her name? Goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Okay, now I got it. This is Nora Corbett's Azalea, and what was so fun about her is the fabric I used was just so playful. Again, this is another piece that my friend dyed. She hand dyed this, and I really loved the colors of it, how they kind of pulled out everything. I was going to stitch her without the greenery on the sides, but realized she needed that to anchor her once, because her colors blended so much with the background. But I think she turned out really, really cute. And I used Krunick to, let me show you. This called for just some back stitching. I used some Krunick for the ties on her shoes. I thought that turned out really cute. I did her skin 1/1, and on the side I gave her extra hair. She didn't have any hair. I gave her a little bit of hair off to the side, which I personally think was a vast improvement. Very, very cute. Really enjoyed stitching this one a lot. I really love how she turned out. This one is Nora Corbett's Water Lily, and she is stitched on Sugar Maple's Gelato. Sugar Maple Fabrics Gelato. If I was doing her again, I would have probably switched her the other direction and gotten a little bit more on this piece of fabric. But I'm not going back now. So I think she turned out really cute also. Again, her skin is 1/1. I gave her a bit of a profile, and I gave her a little bit longer hair, gave her a tendril down the side. I think she turned out really cute. And this piece of fabric was gifted to me, and I figured I had to put it to proper use, and this just fits so, so well. And then this picture is, I'm remembering more that I have that I don't have in this box right now. I have more ready to frame. That's why I'm not going to show them all to you today. This one is Fern, and she was the first one I ever did. And she's on a very, very soft light green. I think this is like Jungle Boogie fabric, something like that. This was also gifted to me. This was gifted by my mom. And I did some of my own tweaking on her. I did her skin 1/1. I gave her a face. I think it's a little too cartoony, but it's still there. I gave her a couple necklaces, which I'm not so sure about at this point, but I'm not going to change it at this point. I still think she turns out really cute. And this is a 32 count. Some of them are 28, some of them are 32. I'm feeling like edging away from the 32 count because my eyes are feeling more strained these days. But I think they still make up some of the prettiest pictures if they're 32 count. They're a lot more dainty and delicate looking. Then this one, we're now moving into the Mirabilia category, not Nora Corbett. Although they're kind of one and the same. This is Silver Moon Tea. And I modified it to say Paris Tea because I'm not so much an Earl Grey fan. But I love Harney's Paris Tea. And I think she turned out really cute. This is a softly mottled purple fabric. I think this one is also another one hand-dyed by my friend. And I think she turned out really good. I did not do her skin 1/1. I'm finding that the skin 1/1 is becoming more tedious. So the pixies, I will put more effort into it for those. But if they're big and they have a lot more skin area, I'm really hesitating to do the skin 1/1 on those. So I'm probably going to stick to regular stitching on the full-size Mirabilias. This one is Crescent Moon, and this is a baby picture. And I originally stitched this for a gift. Didn't end up giving it. I ended up getting something else instead. Loved this skin 1/1. I'm going to have to redo these beads on the outside. This is fully beaded, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was the novice, and I didn't use the right connection in the background, and they're kind of coming a bit loose, so I'm going to have to redo that. But the thing I loved about this so much was these little, in the blanket, this was meant to be just one solid stitch. And I decided to make them little tiny rosebuds, and I think they turned out so well. I just love how they turned out. And if I ever stitch another one of these, like lavender, I can make lavender rosebuds. You could do this with any color. I think it's super, super cute. And if you want information on how to do that, I can tell you how I did that. It was really easy, but I think it might help, you know, if you get some advice from someone who's done it before. I'm totally willing to help you out if you have questions. Then, this one is... There's a couple that sound the same, and I'm trying to remember. I think this is Blossom Harvest. And this one for sure is done on Jungle Boogie Silk Weaver. And this was my most recent Mirabilia finish, and I think she turned out really, really cute. I did not do her skin 1/1. A little bit of lint there. Did not do her skin 1/1, but I did alter her skin to smooth it out just a bit. I was going to do a color conversion, and I just decided to do her exactly as she was charted. And honestly, I love the corset in the front. I think the corset is my favorite part. It's so cute. Oh, I think she turned out really great. And then, this is the last one I'm going to show you today from this angle, but I'm going to show you some more from a different angle because the other ones are bigger, but this is my last kind of small one. And this is, let me smooth it just a hair. This one is my South Seas Mermaid. And this is on another Silk Weaver Solo. And it was such a wild Silk Weaver Solo piece of fabric, but there was something so appealing to it. And I loved the look of it, and so it looks like coral coming up from the seabed and water, and I just love how that one turned out. This has always been my favorite mermaid because she just looks so peaceful and tranquil, and I love the way the water is moving her hair around. And her hair isn't all stringy, you know what I mean? Some of them, it's like the hair will be kind of falling, and then all of a sudden it'll go off, jets off in these weird, like almost like snake shapes. Her hair isn't doing that. Her hair just looks so nice and like she's just kind of floating softly. So I love that about her. I think I made her slightly more coral in this area here to match the fabric a little better. But other than that, I didn't really do anything different to her. She has been waiting so calmly and peacefully for me to bead her. And I'm really excited to get some of these framed when the time comes. But yes, like I said, I have a couple that I'm getting ready to frame right now, and I'm really excited about it. And you are going to be seeing that hopefully fairly soon, because I have never framed a Mirabilia before, and I just can't wait. So I have stitched a couple other pictures, and I've stitched a Nora, and I've given it as a gift before, and I do not have it to show you, but hopefully you stick around and see all the big ones, because I'm going to show them right now. Hey guys, so instead of just showing you my large ones laid out flat, I've decided to just go ahead and show you all of them, including the small ones that I have handy, laid out flat as well. So I'm going to start with my water lily again, so you can see it this way. Again, stitched on gelato, and the 1/1 skin, and I smoothed out the skin a bit, and I gave her the hair and the little curly Q over here. I think she turned out super, super cute. So this one is a 13 by 18. She's a very petite. That's one of the reasons why I love the Nora Corbett pixies, is they're small, and you can put more on a wall. I think that's a really good thing. And then here is Fern again, with her pointy little shoe, all sparkly. So again, she's just very, very cute. Wonderful little pixie sizes. And I don't know, are there people who only like the pixies and then those who only like the large ones? Because I like both, and I don't really have a preference on that. Do you guys prefer just the large girls, or do you like having a mixture of the two different sizes? So this one is the Silver Moon Tea, again on the lightly modeled. It's got purples and some blues in it, but it's really Paris tea. Super, super cute. Here is the Crescent Moon. And forgive me, I can't remember the exact name. I think it's Crescent Moon. But she's all beaded and she's adorable. And the 1/1 skin was really required for her because she's so delicate. I loved the look of the skin 1/1. Really, really cute. Can I get up close on this so you can see those little rosebuds? Can you see that? I basically did a quarter stitch of the color, and then I did a back stitch for the green stems. And I thought that just turned out great. Here is Blossom Harvest on the Jungle Boogie from a Silk Weaver. I do not have her charms in yet. She's going to be even more beautiful when she has her charms in. But she turned out really, really cute. And she's one of the more petite Mirabilias. I didn't really think of that this isn't a pixie size or a Nora Corbett, but this is a Mirabilia, but she's still smaller. So she kind of goes in that same grouping. Then I have my South Seas Mermaid again. Isn't she just so pretty? Oh, to be that calm in life. It's kind of enviable. Just so calm and peaceful. I did a short stint as a model stitcher, and I ended up stitching just a few models before the, I was actually working for Pole Stitches, and they said, oh, we have our fill of stitchers right now, so we're going to let you go. But I'd love to do some more model stitching. I really enjoyed it. This is Sweet Pea And I loved how this fabric really pulled out all of her colors. You got the blue and the purple and the pink. And her legs. I love that. I made her look a little more like a ballerina. I did forget to fill in her back here because there was this weird little hook and I took out the hook. So I do have just a couple little stitches in there to fill in for the skin. And then I've got Azalea. And she's just cheery looking. Isn't she just happy colors? I do not generally go for oranges, but she spoke to me. She's kind of more peachy than orange, in my opinion. So maybe that's why I was drawn to her. But I loved how I was able to give her some side hair and some tendrils coming down. And I'm just going to show you that up a little bit closer. Because she was so plain before, and I just think that added some femininity. And now for the big boys, or girls, because these are all ladies after all. So this is, oh, she's so pretty. What is her name? I've completely forgotten her name. She's not Stone Roses. What is she called? This is Crystal Symphony, and she has to be one of my favorites because she matches my dishes, which are Old Country Roses from Royal Albert. Oh, she's just lovely. I loved everything about her. Like I said, I don't have my beads in yet. I'm waiting to bead until I'm ready to frame. So this is just going to be chock full of beads and crystals, and she's going to have necklaces on, and she's just going to be so pretty. This is a Silk Weaver Solo that I bought from Teresa back in the, Tracy back in the day. And I think she just turned out spectacularly. Isn't she beautiful? Her skin is 1/1. I just love her. I think she is probably among my top 5 Mirabilias. I just love her so much. I love the pedestals and the... she's just gorgeous. So, that's Crystal Symphony. I think she is just a beautiful one. I would love to see more Mirabilia finishes. If you know of other stitchers on FlossTube who are posting pictures of their finishes, please let me know. Show me some links, because I'd love to go see some more finishes. And then I've got this one here. This one is Queen Mermaid. And this one is stitched on a very rare piece of fabric, and I say rare because I was only ever able to get 2 pieces of fabric from this seller. They were called heirloom fabrics. They were out of Canada. The fabrics were gorgeous, and I loved everything about this one. The colors blended so beautifully with my picture. And she's got her chronic in there, but she's going to be just chock full of beads once again. I did her skin 1/1, and she actually had quite a lot of skin, but I think she turned out really, really nice. And I know you're missing a lot of details because she's not beaded yet, but oh my goodness, when she is, she's just going to be a stunner. And I loved how those colors worked so nicely. This next one I'm going to show you is red. And again, she's just gorgeous. This is another piece of fabric hand-dyed by my friend. So I can't tell you where to get more of this. I can tell you it's like a gray with like a purpley burgundy in the background. It's a very unique color that's showing up very dark in the camera, but I think she turned out really, really nice. Again, missing the beads, but she's just gorgeous. I really, really enjoyed stitching this one. I really did. I mean, some stitches are just laborious and you're like, oh, I don't want to work on that. I'm just so tired of this. Some of these mirrors are just such a joy to stitch on because the detail in them is so pretty and the way they blend together. She was just really, really fun for me. So this one here is Enchanted Dreamer. Again on a Mirabilia, a Silk Weaver Solo. And this Silk Weaver Solo had yellows up in here and green and some blue, and then you come down and you have purples and some pinks in this fabric. I just thought it was so perfect for her. And I did change her colors a little bit. This was a yellow pillow. I changed it to a pink pillow. Her wings were kind of a warm pink, and I changed them to this purple. Those were all the color changes I made. But again, I think she's really, really nice. I did the skin 1/1. I love changing colors if it matches my decor better. But some of them I will just stitch exactly as they are charted because it is easier. But she's very, very pretty. And she's a big girl. She's actually really large. This one is called Mediterranean Mermaid. Again on a Silk Weaver Solo. You're going to hear that a lot because most of my hand dyes are Silk Weaver Solos. They were readily available at the time. I loved the one-of-a-kind aspect of them. That they weren't just mass quantities of each of these colors. This one was really unique, and I loved how it turned out because there's more pink over here, and then it goes deeper blue over this direction. Again, the skin is 1/1. And I think she turned out really, really nice. I had hoped I did her the right direction, because I could have put her facing the pink or facing the blue, and I think the blue was the better choice. But yeah, really liked her. And you'll also find that I generally work on even weaves, not linens. I just have a preference. This is the very first Mirabilia I ever stitched. This is Mermaids of the Deep Blue. And this was a very, very softly modeled piece of fabric. And it's mainly like a seafoam green with some little hints of blue up and around here. If you can see that. It's very softly modeled. It's actually very pretty. I've seen some very wildly painted. And I think it takes away, detracts from the picture itself. So I really have grown to not mind the fact this is so softly colored in. I just think it's pretty all the way around. And they really stand out. This one is Bliss Fairy. I stitched this one on plain Periwinkle Lugana because I think the color blended really well. And she was a lime green body, and I changed her to some lavenders, and I've shown this before and people have asked me for some conversions, and I did not keep the information on what I converted it to. I usually don't. It's a bad habit. But I thought the purple really popped on this fabric. And I'm not a huge lime green person, so I prefer the purple overall. I'm going to stitch the Petal Fairy also, which is the companion piece. This one faces this direction. Petal Fairy will face the opposite. I have another piece of this identical fabric I'm going to stitch her on as well. I'm not sure when I'm going to start her, though. I'm not ready for that yet. This next one is Charlotte, and this one is a real gasper when it comes to the fabric, because there is so many colors in this piece of fabric. I think this is the second piece of heirloom fabric I was able to get, of the two I was able to find. And there's so much detail to this. There's like a depth of the ways the colors come in. Very, very sky-like. Looks like the clouds are further in. The sky is out there a ways. But there's purples and turquoise and pink in this. And it turned out really, really nice. I did her skin again 1/1. And again, this was lime green, this swag on her dress, and I changed it to a lavender. This was another one that people asked me what the color was because they wanted to stitch a couple variations for their two different daughters, and I was not able to give the information. I probably could figure it out. It's probably in the 208, 210, up to like a 327 kind of a family, but I don't have the exact colors. I did, and you'll laugh at this perhaps, I gave her a little bit more of a bust, because if you look at the original, she was just completely flat. Like there was nothing there. I gave her a little bit of shape there, but not too much. And I just think that, made her a little more elegant in my opinion. But that is Charlotte, and I think she turned out really nice as well. And the last one I'm going to show you today, even though this is not the last Mirabilia I have, it's just because this is the one I have handy, and some I have preparing for framing, like I said. This is Venetian Opulence, and she is a massive, massive lady, because I did not know until I started working on this that this was 25 count fabric. So she is absolutely huge from top to bottom. She's large anyway. She's one of the tallest Mirabilia patterns there are. And then to put her on 25 count, she's very, very large. But stunning. She's beautiful. Her colors are so rich. And I believe this is Mushroom Lugana. I don't recommend stitching her on 25 count. But this fabric color is really, really nice for her. So yeah, this is a good color. But definitely stick to the 28 count or 32 count. I would look at the Mill Hill bead size that it requires and see what would work best with that. I might have to do some bead variations and switch some things up to make the beads look right on her. And then of course I have the Whisper thread to put in her very retro hat and fan. But I think she's really, really pretty. I love these colors. Really, I'm a very bold color person, as you can tell by my shirt. I love bold colors. My mom is into pastels, but I love the really rich tones that are this picture. She's just beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this Mirabilia / Nora Corbett little parade of finishes. I had a lot of fun stitching these, especially the ones with the really fun hand-dyeds. I used to only do on hand-dyeds, but now I'm kind of pulling back from that because I'm appreciating some more of the subtle backgrounds also. So I am still doing hand-dyeds, and I'm still doing solids because it's nice to have a balance. Sometimes you can go a little too overboard on the hand-dyed, so I'm trying to be careful I don't do that, but I do love a beautiful hand-dyed piece of fabric. And when I get to my hand-dyed fabrics, I'm going to show them to you. I think I said that before. I have literally a pile of more Mirabilia patterns, and she's constantly coming out with more, and so yes, there are more Miras in my future. I hope you will stick around to see them. Thank you so much for visiting me today at Stitching Cafe. I love having you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Click like, click subscribe, click that little bell for notifications when I post more videos. I hope to be coming back again soon and sharing some more with you. So until I see you next time, ciao for now, and you have an amazing day.